What's up, what it do, cyber world? It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is Ash Brown Uncensored. On this program, I talk about a little bit of everything, y'all. I may talk about pop culture, I may talk about Ash-related stuff, or it could be a crazy mix of the two. Today is no different. So I want to talk about the Uncle Gilly effect. Now, way back on yonder days, darling, I had I guess you would call him my granduncle. I had a granduncle named Uncle Gilly. And he wasn't necessarily blood related. He was more uncle by marriage. So he married my grandfather's sister. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. And he came to the Bronx one time. And I don't know if I've talked too much about me as a baby, as a child. I was very finicky, kind of like now, but, in more baby form where I didn't really deal with a lot of people. If I wasn't feeling your vibes, I wasn't going to you. So at that particular time, I was maybe 1, maybe even 2 years old. No, I think it was more 1. So I was probably, in that toddler-esque age where you're starting to run and, just get into all kind of hijinks. But for whatever reason, and I do not know, and there are a lot of Jamaican superstitions that back this up, but I would not go to my grandfathers, like my mom's father and my dad's father. I don't know what I saw in them, but whenever they would be in the room and they would, come towards me oh, baby, come hug grandpa, I would never go to them. And I would scream bloody murder. Okay? Bloody murder. It was a whole scene, like they had pinched me and hadn't even touched me. But for whatever reason, I just never would go to them. So one summer, Uncle Gilly had come to visit us. And keep in mind, Uncle Gilly and his wife, they live in England somewhere. And this was I believe this was his first trip to the States. So came to the Bronx and saw everybody and heard about, this new baby. And he's like, oh my gosh, I got to see the baby. Where's the baby? He loved children, absolutely adored kids. And my grandfather pulled him to the side and was like, look, she don't go to anybody. She don't even go to us. We're her grandfathers. She's not going to go to you. And he's like, oh, no, babies love me. Babies always love me. And he said, look, you're going to get your feelings hurt because she's not going to go to you. Uncle Gilly sees me from across the room. He kind of stoops over, opens up his arm and says, hey, baby. Hey, come to Uncle Gilly. And my parents say that I opened my arms wide and ran into this man's arms, giggling, laughing gleefully. Never met the man, ever in life. Never heard his voice. Did not know him from a can of beans. But in that moment, he was everything. He was everything, evidently. And you could definitely say that my grandfathers were not pleased because they were like, how does she doesn't even know him. How is she just going to him? Like, it was a whole thing. So that was a big joke, is the Uncle Gilly effect. Like, even today, my dad will talk about Uncle Gilly. Well, I had an Uncle Gilly moment, y'all. I had an Uncle Gilly moment. I went and hung out with some friends, and a lot of them are Filipino. And they had this big gathering, and, I brought stuff, and, we're eating and everything like that. And one of the ladies had brought her toddler. And the baby is probably about, like I said, he had teeth. So I would even go as far as to say he was probably about 2. And so I'm going around and greeting everybody, and I see the baby. I say, hey, baby, just, smiling and just waving. This baby greeted me in a way that I've never been greeted by a baby before. He was so overjoyed to see me. It was hilarious, y'all. Again, never met this mother before. Never seen this baby. And he comes charging towards me, arms wide open. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I not hug this baby? So So, I stoop over and I hug on to him and he's laughing and giggling and just having a time. And I'm like, this is absolutely hilarious. Never had that happen. Typically, babies, either they hate me or love me. You leave me with a baby, two things are going to be evident. They're going to be clean and they're going to get fed. Whether they like me or not, that's up to them to decide. It is what it is. But this was so funny to me, so I had to share it with my dad because he got a real kick out of that. I was like, yeah, it's the Uncle Gilly effect. I don't know. I guess I got it now. It's hilarious. But it was a great feeling, to be welcomed into another household like that and to have this little baby that had never seen me in life just be so gleefully happy that I was there. And I was like, you know what? Anything else can happen now. I don't even care. The baby is happy that I'm here. And that is my Uncle Gilly story. So, yeah, that was the point of that. But I hope that you guys are having a great week. I hope that you have a great week ahead. I hope that it is peaceful, it is purposeful, and it is prosperous. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but you have to keep your head straight. You have to continue to push forward no matter what. It's going to get tough. Trust me. Everybody's going through something. Yours truly included in that. But you just can't stay defeated. So, on that, I will holla at y'all later. Deuces.